everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. If you have not heard, this week Stampin' Up! Will be offering free shipping. Go below this video and go over to my website and you can see what day it is. I don't like to say what day because right now I'm filming a bunch of stuff at once, and so I'm never sure exactly what day it's going to post. But there will be a free shipping offer depending on which part of the world you're in. There's a different threshold that you have to spend to meet it, but I know y'all love the free shipping. And so when I did today's card, I picked all stuff that, as far as I know, is available. I didn't check the inventory, but our inventory is pretty good right now. So unless it's retired and gone, I think everything I'm using you could get as part of the sale. So I opted not to do a sneak peek. I was gonna mostly focus on sneak peeks until Christmas, but I didn't want to show you stuff that you can get, so I switched it up. So this catalog here, I'm going to use a couple of things, maybe just one out of this catalog, but it does end at the end of this month. It's the September to December catalog. Actually, I think it may end on January 3rd. There is stuff that is on clearance, stuff that's on sale, stuff that is already gone now that we're to the end of this catalog. But I'm going to use the Snowflake Punch out of that, and I don't think that I have used it other than my Try It class at all in a video. So I have used it. I'm also doing these, I have my in-person stamp camp this week, so this kind of helped me get a couple of projects ready for it. Then the first batch of these are in the mail, so if you purchased from me in November, they were sent out earlier this week with your thank you gifts. I will get the club ones out next. Club's 90% ready. Normally it goes out by the 26th of the month. I think today's like, I don't know, the 11th, maybe the 10th. And it's close to going out. So those will go next, and then I'll get all the rest of the catalogs out. My goal is to have them out by next Monday. Or I guess it would be the Monday before Christmas. No, maybe two. I don't know. I don't even know how many days there are in December. I'm kind of losing track of everything. But the first batch is going out. If you need a catalog, let me know. And I'm happy to send you one with that next one. If you have purchased from me since May, $50 or more, then your name is on my list already, so you don't have to let me know. And then, let's see, we have this card here is for my Try It class. It's almost full. So my Try It class, go watch this video. You can learn all about it. It's the easiest way to see all of the new ribbons, all the new embellishments, a selection of dies, of punches. You'll use all the paper, just not every sheet of every design of paper, but I do show them to you. And it's a fun fold template kind of class. I've been doing them for several years now. I've seen, and some of you tell me that you see other demonstrators are starting to do them, but it was an idea I came up with a little before COVID, and it was originally to use up stuff, but then I flipped it and started doing it to show you stuff so you know what you kind of want to buy before it. So it's almost full though. It's an online class. I have a few packets left, not many. So go hit that button and you can watch that video. Then this is a sneak peek. So if you missed this, you can go watch that video. And then today's card is inspired by my club. Like I said, is already done for December. You always have to sign up by the 10th of the month. It's an online club. I have used so much embossing paste and so much of the gilded leafing in this, playing with these cards. I have had a blast, but I've used more of that than I have ever. And I did a retreat once, I think, where we used them both. So that time I probably did. My desk gets messy. My hands get messy. It is so much fun. So I'm really eager for those of you that are in club to see the projects. And I am going to do a special, just because the projects are kind of fun, that if you sign up for January's club and you're not in club, I will give you just the videos for December. So all of that information can be found on the page. If you can watch this video. It's the first of the 3 projects we're going to do. Now let's do our card. Where did I put my stamps? So I'm using things out of the annual catalog and things out of the online exclusives. So this was our club set this month, Softly Set. It's an online exclusive. And then I haven't used this yet on a video, but I love collage cards. And this is right up, if you like collage cards, get this. You wouldn't need to use all of them. I just wanted to focus on the entire set, but just adding one of the different backgrounds to a card is super cool. But it's called Of Art and Texture, and it is from the online exclusives. Down below the video or over on my website, you can get the order numbers for all of these. So let's to make our card. It goes together super fast. So I have the snowflake punch. This is the holiday catalog. I have a piece of gold foil, and I have cut it smaller than 2 inches. It's about 2 inches that fits in here. And so when it's smaller than 2 inches, just make sure that you kind of center it in here. And we'll get this really pretty snowflake here. And then this one's cut a little closer to 2 inches. I don't cut them right at 2 inches. I find that they're hard to go in there. If you're getting a thank you gift in the VIP videos, this is one of the, I did use this to make your packets. So we have these. This is just going to be to layer behind that one. Then we'll stamp these. So first I'm going to do the Softly Said. And I'm going to put my words on here. I went with a brown color palette because I'm kind of done with blue snowflakes. It hasn't snowed, and if it's going to snow, I would prefer it snow at Christmas time and not at wedding time in our February. So this, I went with the You Are Loved. I'm just going to put it right here. And I just did this. This was the length of my paper, and it's easier, I think, to have a long length and work with it and then trim it, as opposed to trim your paper and then try to get a red rubber stamp on it. So there's our sentiment. Now let's move this over and do our backgrounds. I'm trying to remember what color I used in each one. This is pecan pie, and this is a big splotchy. There's a couple of really big splotchies in there. So one of the tricks when you're doing this is you want to just kind of move it around. And every card's going to be different. There's no way that I can get this to be exactly the same as it was the first time. And then every time I'm re-inking after I stamp, because otherwise, look, if you don't, you'll have lines where it went off your paper and stayed on your paper. This one ends up being so splattered that you probably wouldn't notice, but if you're just doing a couple, you would definitely notice. So let's put some of the pecan pie in there. And then let's go to, you always want to start with your biggest ones and work down. So now we'll do this one. It's kind of a line. I'm going to do it in Pebbled Path. For this card, it's kind of standing in as my silver. Flip this around so it doesn't always look the same. As long as you move them, it looks like you have a whole lot of different stamps and a lot of different patterns. Now this one over here, see, I can see right here is where the line is going to be. Obvious line. So I would like to have a little bit of this that's a little bit lighter. And we'll put that on there. And because it's over the top of another one, you don't notice that it's got the... Let's do this all one off. My sentiment's going to be right here in the middle, so I'm not really worried about getting stuff there. And there are, I don't know, where did I put the... There's 8 different splotches in here. And you know, these aren't to size. They're actually bigger than that. I'm using 3 of them. You could do a card with all of them. It would be very full of splotches. So now I'm going to do copper clay. And these I am going to stamp full strength on all of them. First I'm going to try to hit these spots where there's nothing. And again, just make sure that you always spin this around. It'll make them all look like different splotches. This is also when you get to the small one, if you have any place where it didn't stamp well, use this and kind of fill that in. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to do some of the lighter ones. Just kind of give it some depth until it stamps clear. Now I'm going to take, this is, oh, I did use this. This is in the holiday catalog. I'm gonna use, I don't remember what it's called. It looks like a distressed ceiling tile. It was part of the All About Autumn suite. So I'm gonna run both of these pieces through my machine with this. Just gonna take scissors and trim this off right here. Now here is where, you know, I said that card from Club inspired me, because this would look absolutely fabulous, I can't talk, with some embossing paste on it, or the gilded leafing, or both. But I want to record more than one thing today, and this was my first project, and I thought I don't want to get embossing paste all over my hands again. So I'm going to do the simplified version, but especially if you're in Card Club and you see what we do to the others and you want to recreate this, then go ahead and add some more. You could also put some gold embossing powder on it, but I decided it's actually a very simple card. It just looks like there's a lot going on. So let's take our ribbons. This is, okay, I have a funny story with this ribbon. You can see there's a lot more ribbon than what I have on my spool because we have a new kitten, and I came home one day and I had humongous amounts of ribbon everywhere, and I couldn't find the spool that it went on. So I got another a spool that was almost empty. I still have never found it. It must have rolled under something somewhere. One day I'll find a spool. But this is the pecan pie ribbon, and it is also an online exclusive. So I'm using a lot of this because I took a quick look over your orders, and it doesn't look like many of you have purchased this stuff. And I know it's going to take a little bit before we get used to looking for the online exclusives. So as part of thinking what you might want to get with your free shipping offer, I decided to go with some of the online exclusives. So that just kind of adds a little bit. I think this card, I'm going to put rhinestones on it at the end. You could leave those off, and I think that it's still enough masculine that you could give it to your husband or your son or your grandpa or something, because it's not at all a feminine card, just the snowflakes. So I have, this is from the annual catalog. It is the copper clay twine, and I like that it kind of doings like that. It comes in color pack, so you get more than one color. So I'm just gonna let it kind of doing, and always when you do this, it needs to be way bigger than you think, because if you do it and you think, oh, this is fine, then you lay your sentiment or whatever you want on top, and then you don't even see it. So I'm just gonna kind of stick this in and let it doing around. And every time you would do this on a card, it would also be different. So see, if you put this on here, kind of mess with it. And the nice thing about the seal is that I can move it. I want a little bit more down here. See, it looks like it's taking up the whole card, and you get your sentiment on there and you're like, well, I no longer have any ribbon. And with it doing like this, you can wrap it then around where you want it to go. I can make that work. I'm going to take, here's our little one that's a little bit smaller, and I just want it to kind of be underneath here. So just kind of move it. This broke off. I can fix that. It's because I put it through the folder. But see, if you just kind of offset it, then you get in just enough of the gold that you can see it. And I don't want all of this because I don't need that. So I'm going to trim this off. You do need enough that you can hold it in there. I'm going to take some of, this is our sticky sheets, not the dimensionals. It's the same thing. This one you just cut yourself. So it's great for shaker cards, but it's also good for stuff like this where you kind of want to control where you're putting your dimensionals in a larger. Otherwise, I'd have to put two here and then some more down further down. So line this up. And then just make sure to slightly offset it. And because it's got that dimensional under it, it's also going to help when it's on the card because it'll have that gap. And so I've got that. This will need adhesive to help keep that on. And now I'm going to cut another piece of this. Let's use this one. Because I want this to kind of be long, because remember we have that twine in there, and I want to try to grab some of it with this. It's a little offcut from what I just did before. We don't need that little piece. So I have this. And then I just want to make sure that I pull this so it kind of wraps all around it. And then stick that on there. I'm going to take my ribbon, and I might do different ones on this than I did on my other one. Like if you feel like it's moving anywhere, you can still lift this up and add some more adhesive. Here's There's my little piece that broke off. Get some glue on it. It's very separated. I'm just going to stick this to the gold bit. There we go. So I'm going to take this. On this one I kind of like the way this is joining, so I'm going to leave that one. I want it to look a little bit like some of it's blowing, because you know it's a blizzardy in here. Mind you, it's a brown blizzard, but so just cut one of these. You'll have to be careful because if you pull too hard, it will pull it loose. You can always go back and add a couple of drops of glue underneath if you feel like your ribbon's still moving. So if you untwist this one, my other ones are all across the top, so it looks like the top of the card is kind of windy. There we go. It just gives a little bit of, I like that on there. So we'll leave that. Then we have, let's go ahead and just stick this on our card. So I have copper, a copper clay. Sets off all those colors nicely. I'm going to use two different embellishments. So first I'm going to use the snowflakes that are online exclusive. So online exclusives just means that they're not in a published like catalog that you can hold in your hand. So it means that you have to go to my website to be able to see them and order them. But you can do it. There's 3 different sizes and 3 different colors. You just need the order number, just like if you were placing an order online with a catalog, or if you call, or if you're at a workshop, you can still order them. It just means that you won't see them in a catalog. So there's these copper ones, and then there's gold ones, and there's 3 sizes. I have used most of the large ones. So on this, I'm going to use the medium and the small. I only used 5. I'll use 5. It's nice to use an odd number on these. Then I'm going to use my basic rhinestones. So for those, this white one, it just so happens that the silver looks really good with the white one. We did this in Card Club, maybe it was last month. No, it was at least October. Maybe it was October Card Club. I don't know. They all start to run together. They all come fast and furious. So I don't want silver on the rest of it. I do kind of like the silver because it really plays with the pebbled path. But you can see we used these with the Joy of Christmas. Maybe it was in November. And we needed red and green and blue to match the paper and gold. So I took the blend, whatever color of blend you need to have your things be. You can just color them. And it goes from a silver rhinestone to a gold rhinestone. And then for this one, I would also like some copper rhinestones. So I'll do a couple of these up here in copper. So we have the gold, we have the silver, and now we have the copper. Or you could use red, green, blue, pink, whatever color you need. You can just DIY your embellishments, which this makes this one of the most versatile packs of embellishments that we have. So some copper. I'm just sticking these right in the center of my snowflakes. A little gold one. And then because I still, after I did this, I was like, oh, I should have put some embossing powder. I should have put some gold leafing. I should have embossed it. I felt like it still needed just a little bit of more winter on it. So I took my Winter Stella. You want to make sure that it's freshly been squeezed down. And I just did mine, so it should still be okay. And then take your bone folder. And I'm not using my glass mat. I'll start using it again in a little bit. It's going to take some practice to figure out where to aim my lights, and I want to film too much, and you can't buy it right now. But I've had a lot of people say, why do you need a glass mat? Well, if you follow me, you know this table is a work table and it's a hot mess. And I kind of like looking at it and knowing thousands of cards and that you can see that thousands of cards. But a lot of times we work, on our dining room table or something. This, when you have the glass mat, protects a huge space on your table. I don't mind if my table gets a little bit of Stella on it because I think Stella is beautiful. And my table, and after a while, my husband just sands it all back and repaints it. So my table's kind of a DIY table, but the glass mat will protect a bigger area than even our grid paper. Trying to get it, especially on the copper on the edges. And I hope that you can see it. I'll hold it up. So just whack it. If you're having a hard day, then do this on your cards because it takes all the frustrations out of everything. So you can see now I have the little snow around the edges. It's everywhere, but it's easier, I think, for you to see. But when it's in natural light and you move it, then you can see all the sparkle on it. You might be able to see this one a little bit better because it was a fresh, see the little sparkles there, and see the difference in where I did the ribbon. Up here I did it just because I like the way this fell, and I kind of liked the way this was. So just if you want to tear some apart, just you can tear it apart wherever. So there you go. Head to my website. I am doing an additional special as part of the free shipping. So if you order on that day and hit my threshold, then you will get an additional thank you gift when you use my host code. Everybody have a great day, and I will catch you back here later. Bye.